Okay, now I have my back panel and my two front panels here. Alright, and remember when I make the back panel here, I have 26 groups of the double crochet stitches. Okay, and then for my front panel, I have 13 groups of the double crochet stitches each piece, each panel. Okay, so 13 groups here, 13 groups here equal 26, and the back panel and is 26 groups as well. All right, and so see, I show you in here if you don't see this that well. This is the back panel, this the front panel, which is right here, and then this another front panel, which is this one, is lining up like this. Okay, and then we're gonna sew this and this at the shoulder seam. All right, and here I place the marker into the third chain, which is gonna be the first stitch or the last stitch, whatever. Yeah, into the third chain here, and then into the last stitch at the back panel there. And this is the wrong side facing me, okay, all the panels, because we're gonna sew on the wrong side. All right, and then I have 13 groups of double crochet stitches here, and I place the marker into the last stitch of the 13th groups. Okay, and then I'm gonna count the back panel, so it have 13 groups, and then place the marker in there for this side. Okay, so I show you. So see, this is one here, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 and 13. So I place the marker into the last stitch of the 13th group. All right, like that. And you're gonna do the same with this side, because we have the same number. So I have 13 groups on the back panel, and I place the marker into the group 13th, and then into the last stitch of the front panel here, which is the third chain. Okay, I place the marker there. So you don't really need this marker here because we're gonna start sew from there, but I just want to show you guys. We place the marker exactly the same. And then I remove marker this side, and I will show you how I sew it. Okay, you can use any method you prefer for sewing. So I will show you how I sew it. Okay, I'm gonna use the long tail that I left earlier for sewing. Okay, and I already have my yarn needle here, and again, this is the wrong side facing me. We're gonna sew on the wrong side. So the tail is come from my front panel here, and then I'm gonna insert my needle into the back panel, into the third chain. Okay, I insert into the third chain, just the back loop like this. Okay, and then come back into the next stitch this way, like that. Just one loop, like that. Okay, and then I come out, and then come back to the front panel into the very first stitch, one loop only, like that. I will call this front loop. Okay, after I come this way, I'm gonna go out into the next stitch, front loop only, like that, and bring it out. And then I go to the back panel into the second stitch right here. I'm just gonna call this front loop. Whatever you wanna call front loop or back loop, I'm just gonna call front loop. Okay, I insert into the front loop of the second stitch of the back panel, and then come back into the front loop of the next stitch here of the back panel, like so. Just one loop only. Okay, one loop of each stitch, so 2 loops. Come out, and then I come back to the front panel into the second stitch, front loop only. I insert in like this. Okay, go out into next stitch, front loop only, like that, and bring the yarn out. And then I go back into the back panel, into the third stitch here, front loop only, and then into the next stitch, front loop only, come out like that. So next stitch, it'll be the chain stitch, like that, okay? Oops. Alright, and then I come back into my front panel, insert into the third stitch, right here, front loop only, and then insert back into next stitch, which is the one chain stitch, front loop only, like that. And I'm just gonna keep repeating the same thing. And then go to the back panel, into the chain stitch here, okay, front loop only, and then next stitch there, front loop only, insert back, like so. And then come to the front panel, insert into the chain stitch this way, front loop only, and then insert back into next stitch, front loop only. This is how I do mine, and you can use any method you prefer. I'll show you a couple more times. So next stitch of the back panel here, front loop only, next stitch of the back panel again, come back, front loop only, like so. Okay, and then I come to my front panel, next stitch here, insert into front loop only, and then go out into front loop only, like so. Alright, I'm just gonna keep sewing this all the way down till I reach the stitch marker here, which is the end. Okay, again, use any method you prefer. You don't have to sew like mine. And this is the right side. That's what the right side look like. Okay, and this is the wrong side. We just sew. And yeah, good luck. I will be back when I reach the marker. Okay, I sew till I reach the stitch marker here. I already sew into the last stitch, into the marker stitch here. And then next, I gonna remove marker, and then I just gonna hide the tail. So I'm just gonna insert in there. Nothing fancy, just try to hide my tail. Maybe I tie a knot here. Next stitch. Tie a knot into next stitch here. Okay, and then continue hiding my tail. Okay, just make sure it's secure and then trim the tail and you're done. Okay, and then I will show you on the right side. So this is the wrong side. Okay, so here is the right side. Very beautiful. Beautiful. Okay, and then you're gonna sew the other side here. Exactly the same, whatever method you use for this side, you're gonna use to sew this side, exactly the same. And then you're gonna use the long tail that you left earlier, which is right here. And you're gonna sew exactly the same. Start sew all the way down till you reach the end here, which is this stitch marker. And then you're gonna hide the tail, tie a couple knots, make sure it's secure. And then next we're gonna sew the sleeve. Alright, and I'll go ahead and sew this side and I will be back. Okay, after I sew the front panels into the back panel, that's what it looks like. And I already marked the sleeve into the back and the front panel here, and I will show you how I mark it. Okay, so just want to show you. See, this is the front panel, and this is the front panel, and this the back panel, and we sew here and we sew here. This is the wrong side. Okay, and the right side, that's what it looks like where we sew. All right, and then I'm gonna turn this way and show you how I mark the sleeve. So right now, I show in the paper real quick here. So right now, this is the back panel, okay, which is this one. Okay, and then the front panel, which is that panel, we already sew here, and then this is the another front panel, which is this one, we already sew here, and then this is the sleeve, which is this one right here, and we want the middle of the sleeve at the shoulder seam right here. Make sure it's even into the front and the back panel. Okay, which is this one, the sleeve. All right, so for my sleeve, I have 14 groups of the double crochet stitches, right? And then I have 17 groups of the double crochet stitches on the back, and then 17 groups on the front, so 14. And then I place the marker right in the middle here. So this from here to here is 17 groups, from here to here is 17 groups. Okay, for the front panel here, I mark from this marker to this marker 7 groups of the pattern row repeat. Remember at the beginning of the video for the part 1, I show you one set of pattern row repeat. It have 2 rows in there, right? The chain row and then the double crochet rows. So in one set you have 2 rows, so I have 7 sets, so I have 14 rows in total that I mark. Okay, so I show you, this is 1, so the double crochet row and then the chain row is 1 set, and this 2 set, again double crochet row and the chain row. Okay, and then 3 sets, 4 sets, 5 sets, 6 sets, and 7 sets. Okay, 7 sets total and 14 rows, right? I hope you understand. Yeah, and then I mark the stitch marker right in the 7th set of pattern row repeat right here. I do the same with this side. So now, whatever you do, all the matter is make sure that it's even on each side for the sleeve. Okay, so whatever you do, feel free to do your own way, your own style, but make sure it's even. That's it. Okay, so I will show you how I sew it. I bring my yarn needle. Okay, let me zoom in real quick. Okay, now I'm gonna start sewing. You can use any method you prefer. Okay, so my yarn, so the tail that we left earlier, I'm gonna use that tail for sewing. So the tail is come from the sleeve panel, and then I'm gonna insert into the, so this is the front panel, okay, this is the back. So I insert into the front panel, into the stitch marker there. All right, so again, this is the wrong side. You sew on the wrong side. So I remove marker, okay, and then I insert into that marker stitch where I mark here, like that. Okay, and then I go into the same stitch of the sleeve where the tail come from, both loop. That's what I do. Okay, and then I go into the same stitch of the front panel just to lock the yarn one more time. Oops. Okay, and then for the front panel, difficult to see the stitches because they don't have a normal stitch. You cannot guess where you're gonna insert your needle into, but make sure that all even. That's all that matter. Okay, so I insert to the next stitch into the sleeve, and then next stitch of the front panel there. Don't sew too tight or too loose. Okay, next stitch of the sleeve, next stitch of the front panel there. Next stitch of the sleeve, next stitch of the front panel there, like that. I just gonna sew back and forth, nothing fancy. And then next stitch of the sleeve, and then next stitch of the front panel there. Okay, next stitch of the sleeve, next stitch of the front panel, like that. Next stitch of the sleeve, next stitch of the front panel. See, I can see the normal stitch there, but I cannot guess where I should insert my needle into. That's it. Okay, that's what this look like. This is the wrong side and this is the right side. Okay, I'm gonna keep sewing all the way down, but when I reach the stitch marker at the middle here, I make sure that that stitch of the sleeve and then that stitch of the front and back panel is, I'm gonna sew into those stitch. Make sure it's even. Okay, I'm gonna keep sewing all the way down till I reach the end here, and then I will be back. After I sew all the way down till I reach the end here, and I already insert my needle into the last stitch, which is the marker stitch here, and next I just gonna remove the marker. Okay, and then I just gonna hide the tail. So insert my needle back this way. Nothing fancy, just try to hide my tail. Okay. Oops. And then I'm gonna tie a knot. And then continue hiding the tail. And I insert my needle back. Make sure it's secure and then trim the tail. And we're done with this side. See, now we have the front panel, the back panel, and then the sleeve. Okay, this is the wrong side, and here is the right side. Okay, and then you're gonna sew the other sleeve, the other side, exactly the same. Whatever method you use for this one, you're gonna sew that one exactly the same. Make sure it's even. Okay, so I already have my sleeve and mark into my front and the back panel here, and I mark the same and use the same method to sew this side as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and sew this side, and then I will be back. Okay, after you sew your sleeve into the back and the front panel, and then you need to fold your cardi in half. So you wanna fold the right side facing each other. Okay, we're gonna sew on the wrong side still. So I'm gonna show you in the paper because it's so big I cannot show you the whole thing. So this is the back panel, right? This two front panel we already sew at the shoulder seam here, and then this is the sleeve, and we already sew right here both sides, and then you fold it in half like this. And then next we're gonna start sewing the side seam and then the sleeve. Okay, so you're gonna cut a new strand of yarn. I cut about 60 to 70 inches long, enough to sew the bottom here all the way up till we reach the armpit, and then all the way down till we reach the end of the sleeve. Okay, make sure it's enough. Extra better than not enough, but if you run out you can add a new yarn, no big deal. Okay, and yeah, let's get started. So here, after I fold my cardigan in half, so this is the two front panel here, and then this is the back panel. So right side facing each other because we sew on the wrong side. Okay, and here is the side seam that we're gonna sew, and also here is the side seam that we're gonna sew. I'm gonna turn this way. So I already cut a new strand of yarn, pretty long. Alright, so make sure you will sew on the wrong side. Here is the front panel. I'm gonna insert into the very first stitch of the front panel here. Okay, and then bring the back panel here, and then insert into the very stitch at the corner here of the back panel like that. Bring the yarn out. I have a long yarn here, long tail here. Okay, and then I'm gonna insert into the same stitch one more time just to lock the yarn like that. Bring the yarn out. I think I have too long, but whatever. Okay, so this is difficult to see the normal stitches. Again, you kind of guess where you're gonna insert your needle into and sew it. Just make sure that the end of each row is lining up. That's all that matters. Make sure it's even. Okay, so next stitch I'm gonna insert into the front panel here. Next stitch of the back panel there. See, I just guessed where I should insert the needle into. You can use any method you prefer. This is what I'm gonna use, just sew back and forth. So next stitch of the front panel here, and the next stitch of the back panel there. Okay, okay, next stitch of the front panel here, next stitch of the back panel there, like that. Next stitch of the front panel here, and then next stitch of the back panel there. Alright, this is what I'm gonna sew all the way up, all the way to the end. Okay, as you can see, the end of row 1 of the back panel and the front panel is lining up like this. The end of row 2 here, the end of row 2 here, lining up like that. That's what you want. Okay, make sure it's straight and lining up and even. Alright, and I'm gonna keep sewing all the way up till I reach the armpit. And when you reach the armpit, make sure the corner of the armpit of the back and the front here is lining up like this. Okay, and then you're gonna continue sewing the sleeve all the way down till you reach the end. Okay, but I think I will miss you guys when you reach the armpit. Okay, okay, now I reach the armpit here. That's what it looks like. See, the armpit at the corner of the back and the front is lining up like this. Okay, see, like that. And then we're gonna continue sew the sleeve all the way down till we reach the end here. Sew the same, whatever method you're using. So this is the corner of the armpit. Gonna insert into next stitch here, and then next stitch there, and keep sewing the same thing. Next stitch here, next stitch there. Okay, next stitch here, next stitch there. But make sure everything is lining up, everything is straight and even. Alright, I'm gonna keep sewing till I reach the end, and I will be back. Okay, now I reach the end of my sleeve here, and then I'm just gonna tie those tails together. Okay, and then I weave the end, hide the tail. Nothing fancy, just hide the tail. And I tie a knot here. And then keep hiding my tail. Okay, make sure it's secure, and then trim the tail. And then you're gonna hide the tail as well, okay? And then you're gonna sew the other side exactly the same, whatever method you use for this side. Alright, and then I'm gonna go ahead and sew the other side, and then I'm gonna weave all my ends, and I will be back. Okay, now after I sew the other side, and then I weave all my ends, and then I turn my right side out. So now my right side is facing me. That's what it looks like. Sorry, it's too big, I can't show you the whole thing. That's what it looks like. And here is the sleeve. Okay, and the other sleeve, and the bottom here. Very nice. And yeah, congratulations, you just create a very cool project here, and I hope you enjoy making this cardigan, and I would love to see your project as well. Please feel free to text me on Instagram or Facebook. I will put all the link in the description below. And yeah, I hope you enjoy making this project. If you do, please give it a thumb up and subscribe to my channel. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I will see you next video. Bye bye.